Hello everyone and welcome to Camp Spekkio Week 5, where I am going to be showing off a completely different kind of flag set, Chronosanity. With this mode, any and all key items can be in many different chests instead of the one location that we're used to. And alongside me I have Rythyrix to help with commentary.
Hello.
So I'm going to be going through these dungeons quite differently. Instead of rushing off to the bosses, it's looking through the chests and hoping to find the different key items. And I'm wondering how it's going to be going for me at the same time. And we do start with the normal start of going to the fair. Then we go off and you're going to see a whole interesting overworld route.
So with that, will you be visiting areas that are normally skipped over?
Oh yes, quite a few. Hopefully quite a few. Maybe not every area, but several. And the route that I take is of course not the best, may not be the greatest route, but it's to show off what can be done. And we all need to find our own routes and our own ways of going through things.
Indeed.
Let's get started, see where everything is. So in 3, 2, 1, go. And we got Magus and Chrono start. And for the starting overworld checks, there are about 20 different checks that can be done.
That's more than there are normally in the entire game. What exactly does a check consist of in Chronosanity?
A check consists of any chest, like in a house, out in the open, and it also includes all of the normal key item checks. So they can still hold a key item.
It is simply less likely due to probability of not being there.
And me, I'm just going to go off and get my starting levels and my starting fight. Also get 2 checks in right away.
Seems like a good move. It's not like you are very likely to obtain the gate key very early.
Not likely.
Techno asks in chat, do we know the total possible number of checks in Chronosanity?
We do, and I forgot what that number actually is.
I think it's 183 based upon the auto tracker's capabilities, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, the auto tracker would be the thing to go by.
Spin cut and confuse.
Nice little hidden chest back here. And this is all I do for Chronosanity in the beginning at that spot. Fiona's Villa has 2. Iron Helm and Tonic the desert itself, in the sunken desert part, has no checks for Chronosanity, but when you check the key item, that's the only spot that can.
For what reason is that? I know that we can't go back to the desert afterwards, but after you go and report that you have done.
And that is the reason that there's no Chronosanity checks in there, is you cannot go back to it.
Would that be common to all places that you cannot go back to, such as prison?
The prison and Magus' castle, and the Gomo dungeons. The very end dungeons.
So most of the places in the game you can still get checks from.
Yes. One interesting thing about Snail Stop is it's 9,900 gold for a random, well, it's a ruby knife this time. Yeah, usually it's a random item like a potion, mid-ether.
But this time, randoed in a spot where you will be able to get it later if you need it.
Yes.
So here, this is the carpenter's wife, and you would normally get a key item. So what we're saying is that it can't be anything now?
Yes.
Is there any logic behind the value of the item that can be stored in the place of a key item?
I don't think that there is any value in these key item checks, but there is value in the key item checks if you go through a dungeon. Like, it would be turned into a high or awesome tier item instead.
Gives you incentive to continue the dungeon after you find one.
Yes, very much so. And I just extend my tab grab for the chests also when I do this.
You're already here. Why not fold it in?
And so Mayor's Manor also has 2 chests that we can grab. So far, all of these checks have come up with nothing for key items.
That seems probable, given the fact that there are 15 key items and 183 different checks.
Yep. The regular items that I get are still tiered normally. It's just that key items are randomly dispersed and still able to get all of them.
So there is still no instance in which you can ever lock yourself out of finishing the entire game.
Correct. And the seal chest can have key items other than the pendant, or things to get the pendant.
Good to know about. If you were going into a place that has a lot of sealed chests, would you choose to go elsewhere in order to help find the pendant if you did not already have it? Or would you take the chance of orphaning a check in the in the sealed chest when you had to leave the dungeon?
I would go back to that dungeon. Like, I would loot the dungeon and go back to it with the pendant later. Hey, a key item, the prism shard.
Yes, we will require Marley first for that, though.
Oh, I forgot to equip Chrono with a better weapon. Oh well, this will be fine.
Now that's an interesting character to drop down out of the cathedral.
Oh,
that
yeah.
early shard.
That is interesting. And it also opens up a couple of chests in the dungeons over there in that castle. Because they can all have key items, since you can go back after completing that boss fight.
Interesting. Face who play in chat is asking, what are your thoughts on doing Xenian Bridge in Chronosanity, given the fact that it is but one item that may or may not be key?
Well, it can still be good for the drops, because Ozzy still drops stuff, and you can also get levels from the boss fight from it being early. And also that random item that you can get can still be good too. And I know some people forego that check because it is just one item check, and we forget about the drops. So here, I'm going to go to this right side, something we don't do other than Chronosanity.
Indeed, it is a bit out of our way after all.
Yeah, and being really low tier. So the stuff you would get on this side, it's not worth it. But because of this being Chronosanity, we don't know if there's a key item over here or not.
Only one way to find out. Let's go grab them.
And there was no key items, but I did get another revive and another shelter.
Given the increased price in jets as compared to vanilla for those two items, that's a worthwhile grab.
And from completing the cathedral, it opens up one more chest that you would not be able to get from the castle. And that would be the chest in the princess's room.
Is that because the guard does not move until you're ready to collect the character?
Yes, that is correct. The guard blocks you from going in there. And I got a Thomas Pop. And the likelihood of being more key items is really low, but I am going to complete every dungeon I go into. Not for efficiency, but more to show off where the chests are. Since this is a showcase run of Chronosanity.
Indeed, and we have a rate of 7 from Francois Harpy. Thank you.
Ah, thanks for that raid.
So, in a race setting and not a showcase setting, what would dictate you leaving a dungeon? And what would cause you to stay in the dungeon until it was finished if you found a key item halfway through?
What would get me to leave is if it's a key item like the gate key or pendant or a final piece of a go mode item. Like it would have to unlock something amazing, or it would be slower to run back than it is to go forward to finish it off. And I also look at my levels, because if you're not leveled up enough, you're gonna have to grind anyway.
Indeed, because you're facing fewer bosses in Chronosanity to get the XP.
And there has been a lot of research into Chronosanity, and there can be, I don't know if there's a max number of key items in a dungeon or area, but there was a number of 4 being a really healthy dungeon with key items.
That sounds like it's extraordinarily unlikely.
It is very unlikely, but it can happen. But in a actual race setting, I would have left here with that Thomas Pop and not continued, unless if I really wanted a different character.
Ah, the King's Chambers, one we don't normally see.
Yeah, I can also turn in that Prism Shard at the same time.
Efficient routing. Though, with the guards at the top of the steps on Incarnate Castle 1080, doesn't the Prism Shard quest chain being started prevents you from accessing the towers items of 1000 AD's Guardia Castle?
It would, but I already looted those chests up there.
So definitely a good order of operations to think about, though.
Yes. Yeah, like this chest would have been locked. And now I got a robo. But yeah, and routing can be very tricky because now you have to think, what chests am I locking out? And because I am going to see what the item is for the Xenon Bridge check, I am going to see what is in the chest first and then save. Because if it was a key item, I would have to have gotten it twice. Yeah, and it's an Aeon helm. Like, it's not a bad helmet, but there's a lot of better stuff out there.
And how much time does it take to acquire it?
Yeah.
His run is now valid.
Yep. Always pet the cat.
So, given that you have two of the key items which grant access to quest chains, you have a lot of areas open to you. Do you have a preference or priority, or which dungeons you complete, assuming you have access to either?
Right now I'm trying to think of what I can complete and what might have the most checks. And I'm thinking I'm going to go through Denadoro Mountain because of the density of checks. But I also wanted to get these other dungeons open so I can go to them. And this is also why I am leaving Maro in the party so she can help out with her quest.
Indeed, since she is the only one you are required to use her for her quest.
There's a couple of things I'm hoping to get to show off some other small, minute things. Like I'm hoping for a pendant.
So what is the dungeon that you would be going through if you found the pendant right this second, besides prison?
I would be going through factory.
Factory is a much better play in Chronosanity than it is in standard race flags, I'm presuming.
It is because of the extra checks that are in there. And then you have right and left side. And if you know the routing, it can be quite efficient and fast. And what I'm doing is I'm resetting this room after getting those 3 chests, so that way I can go get that 4th chest faster and not have to deal with battles that don't give me much.
Indeed. We have another raid from Rion Twist with a party of 5. Hello, raiders.
Oh, Ryan Twist. Nice. So let's see if I can get these skips twice. Because there's 2 chests here that can have items. Not this time though, but you never know until you check. And knowing your skips makes Chronosanity so much nicer too.
Though not all of the skips that are applicable to standard race flags will be of too much use in Chronosanity given the additional objectives you have to complete.
Yeah. There's a chest up here that we normally do get, but it can be quite hidden behind those leaves. And I got no really good text to make this really fast. Or really easy.
Well, we can't have cheese with every meal.
Right. So just gotta make do with what I got. And so far there is nothing here on Denadoro, and this was one of those that could have had 4 items at one time. In those very, like,
that very unlikely circumstance.
Yes. But getting a Mega Elixir off that fight is worth it.
Indeed, not all of the value comes from key items.
And I know you guys cannot see my map tracker, but it can show all of the different locations of chests, and it will black them out.
Indeed, the auto tracker is set up to handle Chronosanity.
Oh, I didn't realize he was storing tornado energy.
The rare instance in which you have both chrono and a damaging tank on him and are actively using him.
Alright, welcome back. We got lightning, power outage. But what happened was I did complete that boss fight. Didn't get too much, but then going up here to the key item.
Perhaps it will turn out to be key, perhaps it will not be.
Got the all-important magic seal.
So, with the density of checks in Denadoro, but it's still not paying out, is there a second location that you wish you had gone to instead, or
As
would
far
you choose to go there next?
as far as wishing I went somewhere else instead, I do not. I just go where I think I should go. If it works, great. If it doesn't, move on. So I'm gonna go through the Prism Shard quest with Marl. used to all of the other ones where it's 2 or every other.
It is one of the lesser traversed towers in Guardia Castle.
It is. And most of the items down here in this basement is good tier items anyway. So coming down here can be good for the loot. And there's a Grand Leon for Frog.
So, in Chronosanity, does the Grand Leon open up any checks?
It actually does open up checks in the Northern Ruins. But to open up more, you would need Frog. No, I think you can open them all up without Frog. No, there's one you cannot open up without Frog. It's the 1000 AD going down to the grave.
Interesting routing nuances. And even in a race, I would continue going through this dungeon for that gold stud. Indeed, gold studs being one of the most valuable accessories in the game.
And I am going to go through the Northern Ruins as much as possible too.
So, are there any dungeons in which you would not go into them if you were not confident in being able to defeat the boss? Even in Chronosanity?
Well, in Chronosanity, I might go into the dungeon, get close to the boss, just to loot it. But there is Mount Woe that I will not go into until I know I can beat the boss or at least get very far into the dungeon to where I can eventually beat the boss. Mount Woe with its awesome gear and stuff, the enemies getting up there can be tough. Yeah, Mario can take a nap. This is fine.
Well, she served most of her purpose.
Yeah, she did.
On average, how much longer than standard race flags would you say that Chronosanity takes? Or how long does it usually take? And is there much delta between the two?
For me, it takes about the same. It might take a little bit longer because you have to check some extra things you normally would not check. But you can still get go mode really quickly and not have to check too many things. But you might be under leveled because you're not fighting bosses.
So the Grand Leon, since you got it and he is now attempting to go build something with a sword, does that mean that the tools key item, which no longer exists, has its purpose fulfilled by it?
Yeah, he surprisingly still has his tools and he doesn't want to do work until he's threatened by the ultimate sword of power. That's
the Grand Leon does unlock the Northern Ruins.
Yes, it does.
Good, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, we can get this chest in this time period, but we cannot get the same chest in 1080. Well, I thought that was going to take them out. I guess not.
It's a good thing that you have a backup in the form of Robo.
Yeah, so of course, this is the scariest fight. Always is, always will be.
Instant death counters up to do that.
Yeah.
Now, with the lack of a key item in that chest, and if you were particularly underleveled, would you simply reset out of that chest if there was nothing good in it?
I might not. I might just go through this fight anyway. Because for you to get that chest in 1000 AD, you have to go through these fights.
So you may as well do it and get it out of the way, just in case you have to come back here for it. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And of course, this check does become kind of expensive.
Yeah, it's because of the 2,000 gold per repair.
Yeah. And this side we never really see because there's no real need to, even though there is good items up here. It just takes a while to get up here and do all of this.
It is quite far out of your way. So, if this place does not give any additional key items to you, you have multiple other dungeons open.
Yes, I do.
Is there any preference to the order that you go to?
As far as my personal preferences for all of this, I would have a whole different preference if I was in a race. Like, I might not even come here right now. In race settings, I might be more thinking of Heckran's Cave. And I brought Magus to this because I'm essentially done using Marl. Chrono and Robo I can deal with quite easily. Marl, about the only thing she would help out with is Ice Sword 2. And as far as going through Heckran's Cave, it is faster with checks, and also Robo and Magus can learn techs sooner, with it giving out 20-25 tech points a fight.
Indeed. At this point in the game, it might be worthwhile to go there, but we are on a showcase.
Yes. And I'd rather showcase and show things we normally do not see. Oh yeah, I have to go talk to him again. Because in the vanilla playthrough, that second time is to be able to get to those fights that I just did. And when he says that's done for now, that's it for now, that means all of this is open. Can get everywhere now.
And always worthwhile to grab as much as you can. Mershana in chat is asking whether you would choose to do so, go to Hecarim's Cave because it's faster, or because it has more checks per unit of time spent.
It's more the tech points. As far as items, item checks and density, there's not too much more that we go to. Like, we'll just go to one extra check when going through that whole dungeon. And you might have noticed I opened a sealed chest without the pendant. That is a thing in the randomizer that we just can't fix. The game believes that I have the pendant, so it says you can open this up.
I think that's because at this point in the game, in vanilla anyway, you would have been required to charge up the pendant at the mailing machine, so there was no way that you could possibly reach here without that.
Yeah, this is the only place where that works. So I can still open up these two chests here. And this is me forgetting how this fight works. Because I'm usually higher leveled and having better techs.
It is a rarely seen fight. It is for
So now I'm gonna loot the same spot in 1080. Yes, the pyramid in 1080 can have a key item.
That raises a question, though. Because you can only obtain one of those two sealed chests on a given playthrough, if there is a key item and you grab the wrong one, that would prevent you from potentially finishing the game.
There's a fail-safe set into it where if it's a key item, both of them have that same key item. Otherwise, if it's a regular item, they're both regular items.
I see.
Yeah, because we did not go to the grave with Frog, Cyrus is still here. blocking that one chest. But we can still get all of these chests, and because they are independent from each other in Jets of Time, they are still present with different items.
A bit unfortunate, but it doesn't appear as though this adventure has panned out.
Yeah, it did not pan out, but when else will you see this full dungeon? So now let's go to where I probably would have gone a long time ago. Alright, there's a bent sword. As far as that question, Mershana, it will just do the regular thing that the game always does. Here's your item, and that's it. Unless if you save scum it. Then you can check both of the items, but and that's only if it's a regular item and not a key item.
So with that bent blade you picked up, if you were not here for the tech points, would you have left the dungeon and gone somewhere else?
With it being so early like that, I would be thinking that there's possibly another item in here. Just because that was the first check. And here's another chest we never see anymore, because it is out of the way and there are 2 fights before it.
Truth, it's not a key item.
No, it's not. Well, there's still more chests to go and pick up. And that was the last chest to find in here, but the boss still drops an item. Or at least it's another key item check. And when you do this with the auto tracker, it will keep counting all of the possible Chronosanity checks. So right now my tracker says 76. And if it does not go up, it is not a check for Chronosanity. I keep forgetting to look at that at certain points. Alright. Another place that is hardly ever seen, other than in Legacy of Cyrus, is Ozzy's Fort.
That it is not. So, are there any special considerations you would take into account when you were choosing to go there, or is it simply has chests and needs to be checked?
It's more it has chests. Some of them are hidden chests, and also the damage output I can do with Magus now is enough to get to those chests in the back. I do not think I can beat the Ozzy trio fight right now, but that's not the goal.
Indeed not.
There are a couple chests back behind that one fight, but I do not think I can accomplish that quite yet. And I got very lucky that Flea did not counterattack.
Yes, Flea does have a tendency to be judicious with the use of that stare.
just really did not like Magus. Now here is where the chests are that I am wanting to get to.
Indeed, these hidden chests are not exactly easily seen until you go down the corridor. Someone who doesn't know the vanilla game that well may skip these entirely.
Yeah, and in the vanilla game, that is where Magus's best gear is. And even that proved to have nothing. And I am running away scared because I do not think I can take out the Aussie trio fight. So now it is to Giant's Claw.
Are there any chests in Giant's Claw that are not normally obtained during standard rates flags that you would obviously be going and getting in Chronosanity?
There is at least one. And that one is right there. Yeah, normally we skip that one because it's just out of the way and we'd have to go through that little fight right there. The rock chest will always have rocks, even in Chronosanity.
That's at least one you can still skip safely.
Yeah. Yep, and then there's this chest with the gate key. So if you did not know about that chest, you would never find that gate key.
So with that gate key being about 2/3 of the way through the dungeon, do you plan on leaving or continuing?
In a normal race, I would leave. But being the state of what we're doing here, I'm going to continue. Because every dungeon I go into, I'm going to complete.
Indeed, then.
and I'm not worrying about my time on this at all. And when we set up that async for this, that is when everyone can go their own ways, do their own things, with the knowledge of where these other chests are that we normally do not see.
Yes, there is not yet a map of every single chest in the game.
I think there is, and like the DS version did start making maps of where everything was. So I don't know if we have one available, but I know there are maps out there. So yeah, long boss fight is long. Nothing else to really... Yeah. So with that gate key, I can go to the past and go through the forest maze.
Another location we do not normally see, although we do see it a bit more often thanks to Lost Worlds.
Yeah, it's more prevalent in Lost Worlds because it is a good loot place. And when you come here, there's one chest in this map. And I can also unlock magic for Chrono, so he can learn more than what he knows.
That would be an Camp Spekkio. Not something we normally want to see.
Yeah, normally we see him earlier. A lot earlier. As you can tell, I really like following directions. And I can also go up Mount Woe now. But first, Forest Maze. And this is my route to get into 0 encounters. And collect every chest in here at the same time. For a moonstone.
Well, it might come in handy.
It might. Find the pendant, and I can get a cool Tabin item too. Quick flight south for the other side. And here in the reptile layer, the secret tunnels cannot hold key items because it is not guaranteed that you will get down into those special tunnels. But they can still hold really good gear. Yeah, I've heard rumors that there's fights in that forest maze. They're just wisps of rumors. And the chests that are Chronosanity chests are these two down here. But I got too close to it. For a jerky key item.
Well, I'm sure Chrono could use a new sword.
Yeah, he can. This one's getting kind of busted. It's old. You give it to the woman, then you get a awesome tier item from the 1000 AD mayor. Other than that, that is all that it does. but that awesome tier item can be really amazing. There's a new sword for Chrono. And more just because I can. I'm gonna go check the chest here and get the character.
Well, the character could be Frog, and that would open up another check in Northern Ruins.
Right, it could. And there could also be key items up here.
Skip.
Let's see if I can get the second one too. And no key item up here. Got the second one.
Well traversed. So not strictly required.
I meant to go to the next one, not this one. There we go. Prism specs, that is very well worth it.
Indeed.
Oh, and I forgot this chest from the beginning.
That's okay, you can pick it up now.
Yeah. Actually, with those prism specs, I don't know what the logic is for the rest of the checks in Ozzy's fort is. Like, if it's meant to have a specific key item or not, or if it is just open.
In regards to Ozzy's fort, I would
Yeah.
think it would be open because you can go in, defeat the boss, and then collect the item with no additional checks required.
Yeah, that would be on the developer side if there is a
Plus
key.
side, you don't have. Go on.
Yeah, if there is a key item locking those two chests right there or not. Oh, this fight is pretty well done.
Taking out Slash, major problem.
Yeah, once you take out Slash or Flea, you hit the other one and they run away, then it's just Ozzy, who has no text. Yeah, no script whatsoever.
So, with those two chests in the corner, are there any additional ones after this boss fight?
No, there is not.
Yeah.
But I can go on and check out what the levers give up.
A useful thing. A useful drop, perhaps.
Oh, it was a key item. A Robo's ribbon.
I mean, you're using Robo.
Yeah,
Good thing to have.
exactly. Another thing about completing this dungeon is that shop in Medina, that the prices are usually really, really high. It lowers those prices.
Might be worthwhile to go check out the shop and see if there's anything useful.
It might. And we get to see Chrono's cat again.
Who apparently has a time machine of their own.
And the only bad part is you have to run all the way back out. It's the only dungeon that does not warp you to the front. So let's go check that shop. Just to see what was there and how much it costs to buy
How
everything.
much it costs now? Ethers. Useful.
For 60. I don't think it changes the sell price of stuff either.
Doesn't appear so. The ethers were 40 and they're normally 80.
Alright, I've been putting off a check for a while now, which is desert. The desert, all of the chests in itself cannot have key items, but the boss key item check is still a possibility. And I am not going to have to grind at all at the end. Finishing the middle with confused to make sure it goes away.
Faster tonight fight.
Well, when you're over leveled for the fight. And the only other place left after this is Mount Woe.
At least you know you will find something there.
This is correct. And I don't remember what level that boss is set around. And it is preferred to have water magic for that boss too. I just know at level 23 I'm over leveled for pretty much everything. Yes, I've done King's Trial. The one that requires Marl.
So, are there any super out of the way chests in Mount Woe that would normally be skipped, but you obviously cannot in Chronosanity?
Not too many, and like there's that one on the first screen that some people do skip because it is a little bit out of the way.
But nothing like Ozzy's 4 where you can skip half the chests in the dungeon by not knowing that they are behind the black.
Yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, the first chest is up here after this fight. And around the corner.
Another mech elixir. Well worth your time investment.
It is. And I'm gonna choose not to fight rebels or really do any fights. And this is one of the few modes where I do look at my map tracker. And that's more of a reference of where I can go and what I can do. Two chests up here.
And a hero medal.
Yeah, I can check that check. Alright, the game just wants me to take them out instead of run. Cool. Shiny new sword for Chrono.
Incremental upgrade, but always useful.
So a pendant should either be up here on this mountain or behind that hero's medal.
Indeed. This seems to want you to tunnel you everywhere.
Yeah, this can happen in Chronosanity where you just cannot find the things you need.
More so than in standard race flags, too.
Yeah. One of those unfortunate things that just happens. Just means I'll be overpowered for the final boss, whichever one it is. I like me some prism specs on everyone. This is fine.
last check on Mount Woe out of the way, we now know that the pendant has to be in the Frog's Burrow chest.
Yep. And that prism helm will help. Yep, there's a pendant. Pretty much confirmation that I did not skip anything. Not troll, showcase.
So, now that you're entering the prison and you cannot come back here, do you? Would you be going to check the other chests because they cannot contain key items? And if there are any in this dungeon that can contain key items, where are they?
The only key item check is after the dragon tank. All of the other checks cannot have a key item.
So probably not worthwhile to spend the time and effort to go through and picking them all up.
No. Unless if you're looking for items of your own, because it would be mid-game items or medium tier items, I think, is in here. So if you come here early, it could be worth it. For me right now, it would not be worth checking.
Indeed. Are guys dropping gold earrings?
Yes, they are.
That's a good chunk of cash.
Yeah. And I remember Snail Stop is a actual key item too.
Ruby knife.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Yeah. I just remember as part of the lava skill mode.
Yeah, government issue.
And I do not say Fritz mainly because I never remember to get those mid-ethers.
It would have been a good time. It would have been a decent time because maybe if you were lacking in consumables, but that isn't the case this season.
Yeah. Yeah, even in seeds where I'm lacking at consumables, and I should say Fritz, I still forget to collect them. And so this chest is the only one that can have a key item from the trial.
From prison, yes.
Yeah.
Is it accessible is it accessible before you do the prison sequence?
No, it is not. Just like the prism shard, you cannot do that and get those chests until you turn in the prism shard.
Good to know about. Informs our decisions.
Right. And I could get Frog here and get that one chest in Northern Ruins now too. And all of the sealed chests are now open, and they can have key items.
So, given your number of options available, which one would be the greatest number of checks in the least amount of time?
That is up for debate and figuring out where it is, really. And that's where routing divergence really comes into play too.
And here's another spot we don't normally see during race flags. Lab 16.
Yeah, and all of Lab 16. There's only one chest I have trouble getting, and that's this one. So I'll get it on my way back. Actually, I want that rat. Thank you, rat.
Bit of an interesting glitch there. As long as you have the stole a tonic or stole 500G message on your screen, you can't get into combat.
Yep. And then the return tribe. And coming back, stay away, you don't get into a fight. Yeah, I know there is a way to get this chest without doing the encounter. I don't know exactly where it is. But that is lab 16.
And the quickest chest in the game. Lab 32, blinking and missing.
Yep. Going through some of these checks because I think they're fun to do the skips in.
And they could have key items.
No, I figured it out. Okay. So factory. Right side. That we never see. There's a secret chest right there. Way in the back. Like all the way to the back and all the way to the right. These checks are slow to get to, but going this way, it is faster than going through the gauntlet. And it is every other set of robots you can run between them.
So for clarity's sake, when the two robots that are close together to each other pass you, you can get to the next spot.
Actually, right now I do not have time. So it is every other set of 2. Oh, it is possible to go through that room without encountering them.
Well done. Doesn't seem likely though.
No, it's about as likely as getting that snake skip on the right side of Cathedral. It can be done, but usually it cannot be. So BB for the quick escape from right side. And then the other code moves the other barrel, which is XA. And XA code reveals a chest.
Still have the entire left side. There's still hope.
Yep. And if nothing's here, I'm showcasing all of Factory. There's a couple of different strats for these guys. One is use lightning. 2 is use more lightning. 3 is take out one color then the other color.
There's a clone.
Yeah, key item. Yeah, it is preferred to have lightning. But if you do not have lightning, think that's the color you do not want to attack first.
I recall correctly, the order should be all or just all.
All,
If you don't have lightning to wipe it.
yeah. Or Magus will just take it out in one hit. But yeah, if you attack the green ones, they will fuse with a red one and do a counter attack. And we all know the code for this.
Unlike an aerostome, it is not required to go to the right-hand side of the factory, which is why we almost never see it, in order to learn the code.
Yeah, and I bypassed 2 computers that would tell me the codes for the spots to do the things at. And they're both on the right side. Yeah, I could have just used the elevator to get back up instead of using the fight to get out.
I noticed the lack of a save outside of Soft Lock Dome. Sorry, Protodome.
Yeah. It is a little bit more fixed, as long as you do not do anything bad. See, everything is good. And this is more just because I can.
It avoids orphaning checks, always a good thing to avoid doing.
Yeah. Yeah, just because we don't see these things much.
May as well show them off. Especially when you see the hero's grave text. It's something you see a lot of.
Yeah, this most people do not check because it takes so much time to open it up.
It does have the capability of being a key item, however,
R-
as mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So what I am going to do is, after opening this up, go out, save, and see what both of the items are if they are not key items. Because if it is a key item, they are both going to be that one key item. So left one is a magic seal. Right is right is about as useless. And all of these seal chests are on the upper end of the tier list.
So even if they do not contain key items, you might get some useful items from them.
Correct. And might as well show off where they all are.
The seed is spoiling with mega elixirs.
It is. Like, I'm not complaining, but it is spoiling me at the same time. And because I did Hecarim's Cave, I can use a vortex point to come up here.
Shortcut. So where is the access point for said vortex point?
It is in between trees in the upper right portion of that island.
Good to know about.
To get 2 tabs.
That would probably be more worthwhile if they had to build it.
And we can still jump in here to exit out that western side.
Indeed.
But yeah, right there, is where it says vortex point. I just mash the button until I get into it.
So, in Chronosanity, which dungeon in the future is the usual one that it's gone to first? Is it still Son of Sun?
Son of Sun, not so much, because it is just the one check. Unless if you need levels.
So it does affect your routing decision more than
It does affect my routing decisions. One of my first normal checks usually is Eris Dome with all of the different chests that are in here. Right now my tracker Chronosanity count is at 164.
Getting close to that 183 number.
Yeah, dangerously close.
this particular seed as being mean. And
It,
it isn't impossible to reach it.
it is being mean, but I'm also going to other dungeons and other areas I might not always go to. And with that, I can have go mode. Because I have both pieces of the bent sword.
Indeed, the last thing left is go through the milk cure.
Yeah, I never kept up with how many checks there actually were.
I mean, I think that if you've gone up for 120, you've probably done too many.
Typically, yes. It would be getting one, maybe two key items and leaving the dungeon. Or maybe clearing it for the early levels. So I guess it's time to forge the sword.
And then completely stomp through Magus' castle. Magus proudly brandishing the sword that will be used to kill him.
Yep. And his sunstone and forged sword things were not that great. But I do need Frog to open this cave. And there's one chest in this cave too.
That does actually raise a good point. Because that chest is gated behind a go mode, is there a prohibition against a Chronosanity key item being kept in them?
A key item can be kept in here.
That's interesting.
Let's go see what it is.
So, question in chat. Anchor was asking, just having Frog of the Mouse immune isn't guaranteed to be Go mode. It still is in Chronosanity, if I recall correctly.
It is, and like he said, it's a holdover from needing Ruby Knife. And that's from a very, very long time ago. So before you had to have the Forged Sword and the Ruby Knife to open the gate at Zeal.
A fairly recent change with a quick Magus castle prevented up to Flea and Slash's rooms.
And all of the checks in this dungeon are not Chronosanity checks because you cannot go here, and it's also a Go mode dungeon, or a final dungeon. Yeah. Still hating on Magus. But got experience points this time.
The stair kind of loses some of its fear when you have 50% of your HP.
Yeah. So this confuse should be enough to finish this fight. Oh yeah, I was gonna use my tabs finally. So this Magus fight at the end of this should not be all that hard. I think the seed is trying to tell me I'm cool with all of the shades it's giving me.
Either that or it's trying to make you cool.
It's something. Recommended level for Magus fight? I'd say around 20, 21-ish. Yeah, I don't know what pseudo-arc and all of them have it set at.
traps triggered. Well done.
Oh, I got it. Got hit. Well, got a mid-ether out of it. And that will be the only fight up here, too. No, it's not. That Rolly bomber came at me too fast. Let's see if those 9 magic tabs did a lot for Magus.
Yeah, I'd say so. It'd be something like 1,000 to 1,200 if Marley was casting them.
Right. Might as well go for max damage.
Certainly worked.
And it is Marl. I do not foresee her ultimate going off at all.
No, not at this point in the game. She could still troll you by perpetually giving fire, though.
Eh. That is not going to matter at all. This fight is almost over already.
Yep. Took quite a bit of time to get here.
Yeah, it really did. Didn't even set up a spell. Yeah, just needed a couple more shelters.
It's better than forgetting them.
Right. And I have plenty of revives. Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at my equipment. The only fight that might cause me problems is the double golem fight.
What about the 6 scouter fight on the elevator?
Not as hard as the double golem fight. The scouter fight, I can just attack or use physical against them. The golem fight, if I do it wrong, they'll do ultimate attacks. Or screen-wide attacks.
Yes.
And this party might be a little unconventional, but I'm gonna go with it.
At least with this party, you can skip straight to the grind fight with it.
Yeah. Good, I did put Magus in the correct spot.
Indeed. A useful tech.
Using that non-elemental status of that tech.
In order to bypass the scouters' resistances to everything that isn't their own element. Good play.
That's why I said that scouter fight's not that bad.
Skip. Nicely executed.
And as far as Chronosanity checks, 171.
A good showcase seed.
Very much. Trying to stagger the death counters by having single target on one of them.
A smart move if you want something that your team can survive it.
Like, I could have survived the dual death counters, but I just didn't want to chance it.
You would not have known that at the time you were making an attacking decision.
Yeah. And now to go all out on Lavos. Fast, strong characters means short fights.
Not even getting to the obstacle.
Right? I don't know what obstacle is.
Watch as it just stop.
Yeah, I got at least one prism helm. And no matter how fast you are, you cannot outspeed that attack.
You can ensure, however, there's no follow-up.
Yeah. Alright, what is obstacle? It is sleep.
Not too bad.
No, not bad at all. Like, I don't really have to do anything about it. Yes, now they'll wake up.
What?
Good menu glitch. Use a mega elixir.
Yeah, might as well. It's not gonna be getting used anyway. Like, I might use one in this fight. Maybe. No one likes Magus. Oh well. Let's pop another Mega Elixir to get our MP back.
Shucks.
And
GG.
well, that's Chronosanity. Can be a long slog.
Indeed. But it is very different from standard race flags.
It is. Yeah, it changes from the few key item places where it can be to anywhere. And we just have no idea where it is anymore. And I did go through and complete every dungeon I went into. And that extends the time by doing that as well. So, are there any questions about Chronosanity, the run? And I showcased all of the secret chests and the dungeons I did go through.
Indeed,
and
that
there's
definitely
really-
adds to
Yeah, there's really not much more to the game than that.
most. So, you did go through most of the game. Does this happen often in Chronosanity?
Not usually. But with the Force Mount Woe and the trek to get there, it just really extended the time on this one. And as far as starting back at the beginning, there's this thing called a VOD. You go back, you hit play.
So, since there doesn't seem to be any questions coming in from chat, do you have any announcements for the extra credit stream for Camp Spekkio this week?
It's my plan is going to be Chronosanity again, but with the addition of bucket fragments and tabs, like tab sanity.
So all treasures will be tabs.
Yes.
Cool.
And
Give it
then
time. Sorry. Continue.
and then also putting bucket fragments in there to showcase what those can do. And I think all of that works together. Pretty sure it does.
I don't anticipate any problems. So, do you have a time and date that the stream will be taking place?
Well, I can. Thursday would be a good day for me to do that. Thursday at the same time this was.
Cool. And I don't think there's any. There's no incoming questions in chat, so. I think that is a good time to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you all for coming in. Have a good day, everyone.